Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's tutorial we're going to be looking at Git and GitHub. Now, what is Git? So Git is a distributed version control system, VCS, used for tracking changes in files. For example, it could be source code during software development or when writing a book. Now, what is GitHub and what's its relationship with Git? And what is the meaning of VCS or version control system in the definition, as well as the meaning of distributed in the definition? Well, we are going to start with GitHub. So GitHub is the web-based platform that hosts Git repositories. So here is a visual. So you can imagine that you have a GitHub repository that's hosted on the cloud. So it's not hosted on your personal machine or computer, but it's hosted on the cloud. So you can have a Git repository on your computer. You can write your books. You can also write your source code from there. Then you can push all the changes onto the GitHub repository. And the good part about this is that you can be able to access whatever you've put on the cloud here in your GitHub repository, even from your phone, even if you don't have the Git repository. So those are some of the advantages. The other advantages are that you can backup data in case your machine dies, and it also allows for collaboration of multiple people working on a single task, like writing a book or when you're writing source code for a program. Now, what do we mean when we say version control system? Well, this is a tool that helps manage changes to files or source code as an example, which over time allows for history tracking. Now, history tracking is the tracking of changes made to the files or the source code. So it contains information on who made the change, when it was made, and a brief description of the modification. Here is an example. So you might have three different versions of the same file. So this is test file. It's the same file, but then we have three different versions. Now, what do I mean when I say version in this scenario or this example? Well, whenever you do git commit, whenever you make changes to your files, then you do git commit, you can say that's one type of a version. So we can call that version 1. Then now let's say we add something to our file or we make certain changes, then again we commit those changes. So once we commit, we'll call that version 2. Then we do the same thing for version 3. So the good part about Git is that you can be able to go back to any of these versions, even if you've reached version 4 or version 5, as long as you are doing Git commit. So these are some of the advantages of using GitHub. Now, what is distributed? What does that part of the definition mean? Well, a person or developer who clones a Git repository is going to have a full copy of the project's history or its files on their computer, including all the branches, commits, as well as tags. It allows every person to make changes independent of the others, and it also allows one to work offline. Here is an example. So imagine that you have a GitHub repository on the cloud. Then you also you have person 1 who is currently working on a project. Let's say maybe he's writing a book or he's writing source code for a program. So person 1 is going to make certain files, then he's going to push those files to his GitHub repository on the cloud. Then person 2 is able to clone all the files from there onto his local machine. Now, when person 2 clones these files, he's going to get all the files as well as the file history. By file history, you can think of the different versions that we earlier looked at. So person 2 is also going to have the different versions of the same file, which is the file history. So person 2 is going to have version 1, version 2, version 3, and all the different versions. That's what's meant by distributed. Now, what are we going to look at in the following videos? Well, in the following videos, we're going to look at how to install Git on Ubuntu Linux, how to update Git identity, how to make a repository on GitHub and clone it onto your machine, how to push and pull files or code, how to make branches in Git, how to merge conflicts, how to check Git repository history, and how to revert to a previous repository instance or state. Or in our case, how to go back to different versions of the same file in case you want to go back. So enjoy the videos that will be following. And for you guys who are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe as well as like the videos, especially commenting so that I know what you guys think about the videos as well as what I need to improve on in the coming videos.